What's up, Serpentine here, taking a look at Overwatch, a first-person shooter being developed by Blizzard, the same people behind World of Warcraft and StarCraft 2. Overwatch is what remains of what was to be Blizzard's next big MMO, Project Titan, the game using many of the assets, characters and story from it. Overwatch expands upon the Team Fortress formula by introducing MOBA-like characters and quite a few of them too. Each of them separated into 4 different groups of offense, defense, tank and support characters. A lot of the characters are even designed to help newcomers from other games find a character that suits their playstyle, like Soldier 74 suits Call of Duty or Battlefield players, Farah matches Quake or Unreal Tournament playstyles, and then there are those that feel really unique to the game, like the ninja star throwing Genji who takes a great deal of skill to play successfully, and Tracer who flashes in and out of the enemy's backlines. With so many different playstyles, it'll be hard not to find a character that suits you and what you want to be able to do during a game, not to mention that all of these characters have very different strategies behind each of them, and can be countered by another character's abilities. Being able to switch what character you're playing is a necessity because of this, and because some characters just work better at different points in the map. The balance between them all is good too, so while people wanted a pick and ban phase for the competitive scene, it really isn't needed. The addition of character roles and the MOBA-like abilities really does separate the game from a lot of the other games out there, even though it does lean a little on Team Fortress 2's gameplay through objective-based game modes. The game modes available in the game consist primarily of payload and capture point, with maps sometimes providing a mix of the two or just focusing on one style of objective throughout. There is also, however, a King of the Hill mode that has both teams fighting over one point that does actually provide some very close games compared to the other modes. The game also makes every map feel unique from one another, going from industrial warehouses to metropolitan cities to Egyptian temples and more. Aside from the game's main game modes, there are also a couple of training modes, including player versus bots. Overwatch also has a random rule game mode, much like the Tavern Brawl feature in Hearthstone, where for a week or so there will be a separate queue to play a game with special rules, like the one during the beta phase having you respawn as a new random character each time you die. Being such a highly competitive game, it of course needs a competitive mode, especially as without a competitive mode with a good ranking system, Overwatch could quickly become a repetitive slog with no real objective or metagame to strive for, in a similar fashion as Counter-Strike Go would lose some of its appeal without a good ranking system. The quick match mode, that is the main mode of the game currently, only matchmakes with players of a similar profile level as you, which means you can get into games with crazily good players or absolutely terrible players. While there won't be a ranking system in Overwatch on launch, it is expected to be patched in shortly thereafter and will be a reworked version that was available to play during the closed beta phase. One thing I do hope gets added to the ranked mode is map selection, where you can choose which maps you want to queue for, as some maps and game modes may not be something a player wants to queue into. A big part of the game's replayability at the moment, without the ranked matchmaking though, is leveling up your account and receiving loot boxes that contain various cosmetics from alternate voice lines, sprays, poses, emotes, and arguably the most important cosmetics, the alternate character skins that come in 3 different rarities, which in this case indicates the skin's quality, with commons being recolors, rares being a little bit more work put into them, and then finally legendaries that have almost completely new models. The chance of getting these items is completely random, with the possibility of getting duplicates that are then turned into gold to spend on something you want to purchase out of all of the items in the game. While these loot boxes and gold weren't purchasable with real world money during the numerous beta phases, it is almost a certainty that one or the other will be once the game releases. Surprisingly, for a purely multiplayer game, Overwatch has a ton of lore associated with it. However, it's not overly apparent, as it's delivered through short exchanges between characters about their past and by numerous environmental assets lying around the map. With so much lore to the game, it's also surprising that it isn't more of a focus. Instead, it's delivered by short animations via YouTube and comics via the official site and client. It will be interesting to see if Blizzard eventually does end up applying the story more to the game, perhaps through story missions or something else completely. Other features of the game include recorded highlights that currently saves a limited amount of highlights of your previous games for you to rewatch, and will eventually allow you to export the highlight to save indefinitely. Other than that, there are also lifetime stats available to you, displaying things like time played per character, total eliminations, total heals, etc. and they can all be sorted by individual characters too. Altogether, Overwatch is a fantastic first-person shooter that I can easily see becoming something like a Counter-Strike Go in popularity and competition. The difference in gameplay between all of the current characters make it easy to switch to another character and playstyle if you get tired of playing a certain character or a certain way. And additional characters are expected to be added at a later date. If you're looking for a really good first-person shooter with a ton of character and dips into the MOBA genre with character abilities, then Overwatch is definitely a game to check out. If you're someone that doesn't like playing levels over and over again with similar strategies, then Overwatch may not be for you. Anyway, that's been my player preview of Overwatch. The game will be officially releasing on the 24th of May, available to pick up for $40 or your regional equivalent via the battle.net client, with an alternate $60 package that comes with a bunch of extras like skins for the game. If you want to find out more about the game, check out the links below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.